News this morning. A Casey County man faces a long road to recovery after a hit-and-run crash. And for students at Eastern Kentucky University, textbooks are going away starting next fall.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Monday, November 3rd. It's 5:31 this morning and time for a check of our weather with Megan Desmal. And Megan, it's November, which is crazy. I feel like October just flew by for me at least. Now we're, well, I guess it's not winter, but it feels like winter now.
Yeah, no, it definitely flew by. October's my favorite month and it just kind of went out the window. But November is off to a cooler start, definitely. As we're going through the next couple days, though, we might start to challenge that idea. Let's look at those temperatures right now in a mixture of the low to mid 40s, and this afternoon still staying chillier than average in the mid to upper 50s. However, we are going to challenge that going into the later half of your week, as temperatures have a chance of hitting that 70-degree mark on Wednesday. One thing for you to know, though, as you are starting off your day, we're looking at dense fog this morning. And for folks that aren't seeing some of that fog lit up on this graphic, you could still run into patches of dense fog throughout the next several hours. So just keep that in mind as you are starting off your day. Here's a look at satellite and radar. So while we have that fog, you don't have to worry about any rain chances in the forecast to begin your day. We'll see high temperatures around 4 p.m. with cloud cover decreasing throughout the day. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan. The Commonwealth lost a trailblazer in state and American history Saturday as former Kentucky Governor Martha Lane Collins died at 88 years old. She was the state's 56th governor in the mid-1980s, but the first and only woman to hold the state's highest office. Governor Collins' administration was defined by her commitment to education and economic development. She was not only crucial to bringing Toyota's first U.S. manufacturing plant to Kentucky, but also oversaw the implementation of mandatory kindergarten and academic intervention in state schools. Maggie Rickerby has the story of Collins' lasting legacy, told by the people who helped her build it.
A trailblazer, transformative and no-nonsense leader, an educator at heart, and a woman of dedication and compassion for the people she served. Just a few ways those who knew Governor Martha Lane Collins describe her.
She understood the value of time.
Kentucky Democratic Party Chair Coleman Elridge worked alongside Collins. He says Collins was a woman who got things done.
You have to remember that when she was lieutenant governor and governor, that was at a time when you couldn't run to succeed yourself. So you had 4 years to get your agenda through. And so time was of the essence.
In those 4 years, Governor Collins broke barriers. She was the first and only female governor in Kentucky, and at the time, one of just a few across the nation. One of her most notable feats was working to bring Toyota to Kentucky.
That was not an easy get, and she worked tirelessly to make that happen. And when she did, it was a feather in the cap, not only for Kentucky, but for the United States.
Governor Collins was also considered for vice president in 1984, the same year she chaired the Democratic National Convention in California.
After she left office, she continued to be an ambassador for business, for the equine industry. She continued to be an ambassador for education, working in higher education.
Martha Lane Collins' impact began before she became governor. She worked alongside Janet Holloway, founder of nonprofit Women Leading Kentucky.
She sort of slapped the table and she said, well, you know, I don't like being on committees or in groups where they don't do a lot of work. And I said, we have a job for you.
Holloway and Collins worked together to help women grow in the business world.
She was a big advocate of women helping women.
Not only was Collins a colleague to Holloway, she was also a close friend.
She would always say, you know, you have no place to go but up. Now get out there and do it.
Above all else, Collins was an educator. Those who knew her say it was something she held dear to her heart.
She would say, you know, education is where it starts.
The legacy she leaves behind.
Even though she was so instrumental in our past, she was deeply concerned and deeply invested in how we moved forward.
In Lexington, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
Reaction and condolences continue to pour in throughout the Commonwealth. Governor Andy Beshear took to social media Saturday morning. In his statement, Beshear said Collins, quote, created a foundation for us to build a strong future upon, and her legacy will continue to benefit Kentucky families for generations. His father, former Kentucky governor and lieutenant governor during Collins' term, is Steve Beshear. In a statement Saturday, he said, quote, I saw firsthand her transformational efforts related to economic development, education, and equine tourism. Kentucky's Republican leadership is also remembering Governor Collins' life. In a release, Senator Mitch McConnell says, as Kentucky's first female governor, she was known for breaking barriers and was a tireless advocate for all levels of education in Kentucky. State Attorney General Russell Coleman also took to social media, applauding Governor Collins' service to the Commonwealth and, quote, busting through the glass ceiling to show that there are no limitations. Both Coleman and Senator McConnell send their condolences to her family. A Casey County man faces a long road to recovery after a hit-and-run crash earlier this month. 19-year-old Cody Cahill was changing a tire on the Cumberland Parkway in Pulaski County when he and his fiancee were hit. Cody has been in the hospital since October 14th and has undergone multiple surgeries. His family organized a benefit this past weekend at the Nancy Fire Department to help cover medical expenses.
He has to learn how to walk again. And with the setback from the break in his foot and having to have surgery with that, I don't know how far that pushed us back.
State police say there's no new information about the crash. Well-known Kentucky priest Father Jim Schicko says he's willing to pay for a recliner that Cahill needs. A Tennessee woman was arrested after police in Bell County say that she was driving under the influence. It happened on Tuesday when deputies were dispatched to a possible crash. Police say they noticed that Amanda Like's vehicle was sitting sideways in the middle of the road. Deputies say when they asked for her license, she showed one that was suspended for DUI. Like was charged with operating a vehicle under the influence and endangering the welfare of a minor. In Kanawha County, West Virginia, sentencing for a man found guilty of murder has been set for next month. Michael Smith was convicted on multiple charges, including second-degree murder and concealment of a body. Deputies arrested Michael Smith in the death of Cheyenne Johnson back in 2021. Cheyenne's best friend was in the courtroom yesterday and says the conviction was a huge relief and that she feels she now has a chance to properly grieve her friend. A Jackson County man is behind bars after he was accused of evading police. It happened last week when police were called to the 7,000 block area of Highway 421 North in Sand Gap. Police say Matthew Hammond had multiple warrants for his arrest. Police say when Hammond realized police were after him, he tried to get away. After Hammond was taken into custody, police noticed he had a handgun in his possession. A 17-year-old was hiking at the Red River Gorge when he fell nearly 40 feet. Lukma Mijatovic had to be airlifted to the hospital after slipping on a rock that he was trying to climb at Courthouse Rock. That happened on his fall break, but he has since made a full recovery. It's something he credits to the first responders who saved his life that day, and on Sunday afternoon, he took the time to thank them for doing so.
We don't often get to follow up with our patients that we transport. We don't really ever know what happens to them.
He says he's, quote, completely fine now. Crews in Pulaski County are reminding folks to stay alert this forest fire hazard season. The Somerset Fire Department was called to the 4,000 block of West Highway 80 Friday for corn stalks on fire. Officials say it started from a combine machine during harvest. Crews were able to quickly put out that fire. Forest fire season runs until December 15th, and you can find regulations or report illegal burning on the State Energy and Environment Cabinet's website. Well, as it starts to get colder outside, many children need help staying warm. Believing in Forever Incorporated is a group working to make that happen. And this year, it's getting help from some students at the University of Kentucky. Mariah Congito has more about the collaboration.
As a campus community, I think it's good for us to help the local community.
For more than a decade, Believing in Forever Incorporated, started by community activist Divine Karama, has collected more than 20,000 coats to keep kids warm in the winter.
It's so important to have such a basic item as a coat.
This year, some UK grad students are helping in his effort.
This year, I know he's received over 3,000 requests for coats. We're hoping to get him a little bit closer to that goal.
Ryan Lee, Cooper Gray, and Andrew Thorpe say their professor has his students do a good deeds project every year.
In past years, they've worked with Andy Bashir's wife. They've collected coats and food and sports equipment.
Their class chose to partner with Believing in Forever Incorporated and Lexington Rescue Mission. They're collecting coats to divide amongst both nonprofits.
It's a privilege because some people don't get a chance to kind of have a nice warm coat during the winter.
If you're a UK student, a staff member, or even someone from the public, and you feel compelled to donate a coat this holiday season, you're going to want to look for one of these black bins in the Johnson Center. It's pretty simple. All you do is toss in a brand new coat.
A lot of these kids, they are in free and reduced lunch programs. They get a lot of secondhand items. They don't get a lot of new things. So for those kids to get a new coat, it's a really big deal, and it really helps with their self-esteem, and it makes them really happy.
The students are also accepting monetary donations. They will use that money to go buy more coats.
To be kind of the people that get the community active, it's a good thing to be a part of, and I hope to see people wearing our coats.
They're collecting coats on campus through November. Mariah Congito, WKYT.
You can also follow the group on social media for updates. That information is on our website, WYMT.com. A big draw for students at Eastern Kentucky University is going away starting next fall. The school has been providing students with textbooks since 2021. New federal aid developments are now forcing a change. EKU had been providing free textbooks through their BookSmart program, but in fall 2026, books could cost close to $800 per student per year. Although senior Zane Moeller will not be affected, he says, based on what he read in an email, the change could be a good thing.
In reality, we'll actually get more money back from the government and less back than we would get from the school covering the textbooks.
A news release says staff at EKU's Big E Central can talk to students about financial aid and scholarship options as students plan for 2026. Well, you probably woke up this morning feeling extra rested thanks to that extra hour of sleep. Our clocks fell back Sunday, ending daylight saving time. While there could be some perks of it, less daylight can be a trigger for anyone who suffers from seasonal affective disorder, more commonly known as seasonal depression. Kentucky doctor Katrine Stone says the colder months create less opportunities to be outdoors, getting vitamin D, and less changes to socialization.
Individuals that are really struggling with seasonal affective disorder find that they can't wait to get off work or get out of school, put on their pajamas and be in bed. They have a hard time getting out of bed. They may not have the energy to be able to do their daily tasks or even to take care of their kids, or at least at the level that they typically do.
Dr. Stone says the primary symptoms of seasonal affective disorder are persistent low mood, fatigue, loss of interest, change in appetite, and social withdrawal. Officials say a Perry County road will be closed for nearly a week this month. Kentucky 451 is closing from November 10th through the 15th. Officials say crews will replace a drainage structure at mile point 5.86. Officials say this is on the north side of Town Mountain, roughly 2 miles from the Hal Rogers Parkway and Kentucky 80 intersections. You can use Kentucky 15 and Kentucky 80 to bypass that work. It's now 5:44. Coming up, Halloween may be over, but Netflix is still leaning into the horror theme this week. That's up next on your Eye and Entertainment Report.
And we are looking at peak fall foliage today, but how long will that last? I'll have that answer coming up.